Hello my lovelies and welcome back to the Self-Love Clinic. I'm Bash Tita and today we're going to be speaking about comparison. Yes, because oftentimes so many people find themselves falling into that trap of comparing themselves to other people, and this is in fact a toxic behavior trait because it does not allow us to progress. It doesn't allow us to move forward and be fruitful in life. Rather, it keeps us, stagnant as we begin to operate from a place of lack and from a place of envy. So the theme for today is stop comparing yourself and start valuing yourself. Yes, don't be envious. Put some respect on your name, okay? Put some respect on your name. Let's get into it. So we live in a world filled with billions of people, all with unique characters, right? And even in those differences, there are still many similarities. So it's no shock that we oftentimes find ourselves in that trap of comparison. And it doesn't begin with us, okay? It starts with other people comparing us to others, and then we end up adopting that behavior. From being a child, if you have siblings or there are other little children around you, you may hear your parents saying, why can't you be more like Johnny, or why can't you just sit quietly like Paula? Go over with Paula and sit quietly with her. But you're like, but I'm not like Paula, mommy. And then we go into like a classroom setting, and then the teacher may do the same thing, compare you to other students. You may find your fellow classmates even comparing you to one another, and then you continue experiencing it to the point where you end up adopting it, and then you find yourself comparing yourself to other people as well. Now, the detrimental thing about comparing ourselves to other people is that oftentimes when we compare ourselves, we are focusing on what's wrong with us. We are focusing on what we do not have. We are focusing on what we are lacking. We are focusing on our negative traits, whilst we are highlighting somebody else's excellence. We are highlighting their positive traits. We are highlighting what's good about them. We are highlighting their accomplishments. And so the scales are a bit unbalanced, We're not giving ourselves a fair fight because we're not holding ourselves in the same regards that we are holding the other person. We have placed them on a pedestal and we are looking down on ourselves. Put some respect on your name. Come on, stop doing that, because it's so easy to see somebody else's light, to see the good things about somebody else and not see what is bad about them. And why? That's because we know ourselves, right? We live with ourselves. We've experienced ourselves day in and day out. But when it comes to other people, we only see of them what they choose to reveal to us. I always say about myself that if I don't want you to know a certain part of me, you will never know it. You will never meet that side of me, right? I only reveal what I'm comfortable with sharing. And that is the same with every single person walking the face of this earth. They reveal to you what they want you to know, what they want you to see. And nobody is walking around this earth, walking around in their day-to-day lives, broadcasting and highlighting their negative traits and highlighting what they don't like about themselves. Nobody is doing that. Everybody is always just putting their best foot forward. Everybody is only showing what they want you to see, and that's oftentimes the positive parts of their lives, right? But then we oftentimes conclude on a person's life. We make a final judgment based on this limited perspective, based on this limited insight that we have, and we say, yes, you've got it all figured out, you've got it all together. But let me tell you, the grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is not greener on the other side. We may see somebody and their life looks excellent, like, yes, you got it going on. But we do not see what is going on behind closed doors. We do not know the amount of suffering that this person may be enduring. We have no idea as to the state of their mind, the state of their emotions, the state of their physicality. We do not know anything about their lives in reality, so we cannot finalize on what their experience is. I have a complete insight of who I am, but only a limited insight of who you are. So what is the point in comparing? It will only leads to me feeling small, to me feeling unworthy. And that is what happens when we compare ourselves to other people. We are sending subconscious messages to our mind that we are not good enough, that we are not worthy, that we are inadequate, that we are incapable, that we are not deserving, that we cannot do better. Put some respect on your name. And the thing about comparison is that it leads to envy. It leads to envy. Because like I said, when we compare, we are looking down on ourselves and putting someone else on the pedestal. So we're seeing this person and we're like, why can't I have that? Why can't I have this? Why can't I have that? We become envious of what somebody else has. We become envious of their accomplishments. So we need to break out of comparison. Instead of shining a light on somebody else's positives, turn that light and shine it back on yourself. You need to start valuing yourself. Learn to value yourself. To do this, you have to be able to acknowledge the wisdom and the knowledge that you have gained from your life's experiences and identify how that has shaped you. You have to be aware of your strengths, of your talents, of your skills, of your giftings. Because like I said, we spend so much time focusing on what's wrong with us and what we don't have. We need to also start focusing on what we do have. We need to start reprogramming our minds to think better of ourselves. We need to start reprogramming our minds to hold us in a higher regard. We need to start reprogramming our minds to think well of ourselves. If I was to tell you right now to make 2 lists, let one list be of all the things you're bad at, all the things that you're lacking, all the things you don't have, all of your self-critique. And then let the other list be about everything that you do have, everything that you're good at, all of your skills and your talents, everything that you love about yourself. I guarantee you, it will initially be easier for you to write out that negative list than that positive list. Why? Because that's what our mind is more so focused on most of the time. So we need to take every opportunity that we can to remind ourselves about what is good about ourselves. We need to remind ourselves what tools we do have, what skills we do have. So I want you every single day to remind yourself of your giftings and your talents. Make a conscious effort to do so, because our minds will automatically at some stage in some sort of way be filled with a negative thought concerning ourselves. So we have to be able to combat those negative thoughts that arise with positive ones. And so the more you practice thinking about yourself in a positive light, in a positive regard, the easier it will be to alter negative thoughts as and when they do arise. And also understand that you acknowledging your strengths, you acknowledging your gifts and your talents, that is a form of gratitude. That is you practicing gratitude. And so the more gratitude that you express for what you do have, the more you position yourself in the posture to receive more blessings, to receive more abundance. You open yourself up to actually grow in life. Another thing about comparison is that it's easy to see somebody's glory, their glow up, them shining and thriving, right? But we never hear their story. We never see their story. We never see the struggle. We never see how much they had to hustle, how they had to grind, the hard work that went into it, or the sacrifices that they had to make in order to be where they are today. There's always going to be somebody in your field who seems as though they are further along than you, who seems as though they're doing better than you. Do not be envious. Be a student. Learn from them. Seek a mentorship from them. Don't be afraid to send them a message and say, hey, I love what you're doing. I'm interested in similar things. And I would love to pick your brain on how you got there. What were some of the challenges that you faced? How did you overcome them? I'm in this current moment struggling with this thing in particular. Do you have any advice on how to push past this particular barrier? Be a student, right? Another reason why there are so many of us on this planet is that we can learn from each other. There is power when we come together. There is power in community. And what comparison does, it separates us from one another. It makes us feel as though we have to stand alone, instead of doing what we should be doing and coming together, learning from one another, growing together. So when you see somebody and you admire their achievements and accomplishments, like I said, do not be envious. Learn from them. See the steps that they took. See how they carry themselves. The only person that you need to compare yourself to is yourself. Me a year ago and me today. How have I grown? How have I developed? What have I learned? Am I doing better now than I was then? That is the only comparison that you need to make, because you are running your own race in this life. Nobody is in your lane. Nobody has the purpose that you have. Your journey is unique to you. So if you spend so much time focusing on somebody else, comparing yourself to somebody else, that is time that is taken away from you excelling in your purpose. Nobody can do what you can do the way you can do it. Nobody's got your special secret sauce, you understand? There is something mighty, something powerful, something so great that you are carrying and that you alone are carrying. So do not spend your time focusing on somebody else's greatness, focusing on their special sauce, that you disregard your own. That is the only way that you can fall short. That is the only way that you can miss the mark, is if you fail to identify what you are carrying and how it can be used to positively impact this world. So stop sleeping on yourself. Stop comparing yourself and start valuing yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and since you've made it to the end of the video, please do go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and let me know what some of your key takeaways from this video were. And I'll definitely be seeing you next time. Have an amazing day. Peace.